which is investigating, reporting and recording. Avoid reporting those incidents. So the point of discussion is investigating, reporting and recording accidents at the workplaces. So what are the reasons for carrying out the investigations of the accidents occurring at workplace? There are a number of reasons for that, as you can see on the screen. The first one is to identify the immediate cause and the root cause of the accident, which we will be discussing later in this element. The others are to identify the training needs and for the insurance claims purposes and for the legal reasons, and to avoid the recurrence of that accident to occur. The recurrence of accident, to avoid it, it is a major concern for the organization, because organization doesn't want that a similar type of incident happen again and again in their organization. So one of the major reason for carrying out the investigation of the accident is to avoid recurrence of it. So these are the number of reasons, as you can also see on the screen, for which the carrying out the investigation is important and integral part for any kind of organization. There are 4 types of incident. First type is accident, second type is near miss, third type is dangerous occurrences, and fourth type is work related ill health. We will be discussing each by each, one by one, separately. First of all, what is the accident? Accident is any unplanned and unwanted event that result in any kind of human injury or any kind of damage to equipment or loss to any kind of asset. There are 2 subcategories of accidents. One is injury accident and one is damage only accident. In injury accident, the injury accident result into the injury of any kind of personnel or workers working at your workplace, and in damage only type accident, it occurs as a result of any damage to equipment or loss of any asset during any kind of incident at the workplace. Secondly, there is near miss. What is near miss? An unplanned and unwanted event which does not result in any kind of injury or any kind of damage to equipment or loss, but it has the potential to cause any kind of injury and damage to any kind of equipment. Third is dangerous occurrence. There are some type of events and there are some type of incidents which we need to report to the legal authorities, as they have requirement of it. And those events are, for example, any kind of gas leak, any kind of fire incident at the workplace. The last is work related ill health. So the work related ill health events are those, for example, if a worker is doing any kind of cement work, civil works at the site, and due to that civil works there is too much dust at the site, and due to that dust he is having breathing issues, and which leads to the asthma or any kind of skin irritation diseases. So these type of diseases are called work related ill health events. Coming forward to the level of investigation, there are different level of investigation at the organization, and for each level different personnel at the workplace will conduct the investigation. For example, for the minimal level of investigation, junior manager will conduct the investigation and he will be responsible for conducting it. And for low level investigation, line manager will be responsible for conducting that investigation. And for medium level investigation, middle management and middle managers are responsible for conducting this investigation. And for high level investigation, senior managers are responsible for conducting the investigation in a thorough process. So what are the basic procedures of conducting the investigation? First of all, if you observe any kind of incident at your workplace, your first response should be to secure the incident area so that no authorized person could enter the accident area. And second one is that the injured person should be given immediate first aid and should be transferred to the hospital via ambulance immediately. There are 4 steps of conducting the basic investigation procedure. The first step is gather the factual information. Second step is analyze the information and draw conclusions from it. Third step is deciding the control measures. And then come the last step. And in the last step, we will draw an action plan with regards to these control measures. So the first step, gathering the information. How we can gather the information? We can gather the information by securing the incident scene, identifying the witnesses, interviewing the witnesses, and in the last, examining the documentations. What are the procedure for interviewing the witnesses? While you are interviewing any witnesses, you need to take care of few things. What are those few things? Just build a good reputation with the witnesses Don't take interview in that manner that it looks like you are blaming them, and take the interview in a simple language, in their mother tongue, which they understand easily, and ask them open-ended question. Open-ended question mean which involves how, why, when. Just take the written statement and ask them to sign it, and just be quiet and just stay calm while you are taking the interview of the witnesses. Coming to the examination of documents, there are few documents which can be examined if any incident occurred at the workplace. What are those documents? These documents includes company's health and safety policy, training records of the injured employee, competency record, risk assessment, safe system of work, permit to work, legal requirement, past incident history of the workplace. So these all are the examples of the documents which can be examined after any kind of incident or accident happen at the workplace. Coming to step 2, which is analyzing information. When any kind of incident or accident occur at the workplace, two causes can be drawn from it. One is immediate cause and the second one is root cause. We will be
Thanks for charging me, Asif.
So first we will discuss the immediate cause. Immediate causes are just because of the two factors. What are those two factors? That two factors are unsafe act and unsafe condition. Unsafe act are basically those acts which deviate from basic health and safety rules and set protocols. Similarly, unsafe condition are those type of conditions which deviate from basic health and safety protocols. Let me just give you an example. For example, if a worker is doing any kind of welding work at the workplace and he's not wearing the welding hood, this is his unsafe act. And what will be the unsafe condition? The welding plant which he is using is damaged. That is the unsafe condition. So I think now you can clearly differentiate between the unsafe act and unsafe condition. So unsafe act and unsafe condition are the two main causes for the immediate cause. Second one is the root cause. Root cause is basically the more deep causes of any kind of incident. They are mostly the failure in the management system. For example, the examples of root causes are less competency, low level of skills, low level of experience of a worker, low level of training of using PPEs. These are all the example of root causes. And what are the example of immediate causes? Immediate causes example can be any kind of if a worker is driving a car and he is doing overspeeding, and due to that overspeeding an incident occurred, the car collide with another car. So the immediate cause will be the overspeeding, and the root cause can be his lack of training on the driving protocol. So we can clearly now identify what is the difference between the immediate cause and the root cause. Coming to the step 3 for deciding the suitable control measure for the immediate causes and the root causes. For deciding the control measures for immediate causes are more easy than deciding the suitable control measures for the root causes. Let me just give you an example. For example, a worker at workplace just slipped from the floor due to the slippery floor, and the floor was wet. So deciding the control measures for the immediate cause is that we will clean that floor and we will dry it. So that will be our immediate cause control measures with respect to it. And let's just take another example. And a worker is doing a work on any kind of machinery, and that machinery is having no guard, and because of no guard the worker and machinery has an intervention, and due to that intervention the worker got injured. And what will be the remedial for that immediate cause? We will just replace the guard, we will just fix the guard whichever the position at which it is missing. So it will be our control measure for the immediate cause. Now for deciding the control measures for the root causes are difficult because they are time taking and they are lengthy, and our whole management have to work behind it just to decide the control measures for the root causes, because it is a complex system, and that's why for deciding the control measures for it is time taking. Let's just take an example of the control measures for the root causes. I will similarly give an example which I have given before for the immediate causes. A worker slipped from the wet slippery floor, and the immediate cause of that incident was the floor was wet, and the root cause for that incident was that the workers haven't seen the signage posted there of the wet slippery floor. So if we will decide precautionary measures or any kind of action plan for that root cause, it will be that we will give proper training to that worker, and this action will be time taking. As I have mentioned earlier, the control measures and the remedial actions for the root causes are more time taking than as compared to the immediate causes. Coming to the step 4, which is planning the remedial actions. There are some kind of situation which require immediate attention and immediate rectification. So for that situation, we need to rectify that incident cause immediately. But for the situation where there are major gaps in our management system, and due to that our actions deadline will be time taking, and those actions will require more time and more attention. Coming forward towards recording and reporting incidents. Reporting incidents mean informing other people or any legal authorities that the specific incident has happened. It can be done internally too within the organization, and can be done externally. For example, informing the insurance companies or any legal authorities. Recording the incident means basically documenting the incident records and its documentation. There are some barriers while we are reporting incident. And what are those barriers in different organizations? Those barriers are excessive paperwork, unclear policy, and lack of training on reporting system. So what would happen at the result of this? Employees will not report any kind of incident, and in some organizations there is also blame culture. Employees feel that if we will report a specific incident, the company will take action on them, and they just avoid it just because thinking that company will take action on them. And in some organizations there is too much excessive paperwork for reporting any kind of incident, so workers avoid reporting those incidents. So the point of discussion is that our reporting system should be concise and should be meaningful and should be interesting enough, and all the employees are trained on it so that they can easily report it while other than avoiding it. Incident can be reported internally and externally in both ways depending upon the severity of the incident. Internally, the incident can be reported to director, senior manager, health and safety advisor, and environmental advisors, etc. And externally, the incident can be reported to the families of the casualty and external authorities, legal authorities, and insurance companies. As I said, it depends upon the severity of the incident that whom we should report the incident to, whether we need to keep it internally or we need to keep it to externally too. There are some contents which need to be embedded in the incident investigation report. And what are those contents? These contents are date, time, location of the accident, the name of an injured person, and the type of the injury sustained, and the type of the first aid given, the type of remedial actions taken, and the type of investigations carried out, and who was involved in the investigation, and when it was carried out, and its closure date. So these are all the contents of a basic incident investigation report. Coming forward, there are some reportable events which need to be reported to the legal authorities. What are these reportable events? Fatality. Fatality means any kind of death of any personnel or the worker, and any kind of major injury, lost time incident, disease, and dangerous occurrences. These all are the type of reportable events which we need to report to any legal authority if this happens at our workplace.